So I saw Zack Snyder's Justice League last Saturday, and I thought I'd do a review. This is a spoiler review, so anybody who has not seen the film, you have been warned. Also, I would give my thoughts on the film, see how I felt. So, let's start with the negative with the film. I thought the 4-hour runtime may have been a bit too much. I mean, there are a few scenes in the film which were a little bit unnecessary. For example, the scene near the beginning of the film where Bruce Wayne is leaving just after Aquaman goes swimming. The people at the village start singing this song, which to me wasted a lot of time. There are other couple scenes that are kind of slow for me, like the scene where Lois Lane is mourning for Superman. I thought that was a bit too long for me, so I didn't really enjoy that. But other than that, I thought the whole film was amazing. Is it better than the theatrical cut? Yes, definitely. It's leagues better. In fact, what I'm surprised at is how Warner Bros. Could allow such a film not to be made, especially since they credited Zack Snyder for the theatrical cut. It baffles me how much of the film they really cut back in 2017. For example, and this is a spoiler review by the way, so you have been warned. Click off now if you don't want to be spoiled. So I thought, for an example, for a scene, there's a scene in the movie where Flash has to save the world because everything explodes by delving into this thing called the Speed Force, which is something the comic book fans know. Anyway, he goes into this state and starts running at the speed of light, as he describes it. The scene was really well done and it was really quite amazing, but what surprises me is the fact that they cut a scene like that out and left these annoying jokes in the film that were unnecessary. In fact, in the third act, Flash did something else entirely in the theatrical cut, where he had to save this random Russian family, which I didn't really care about. It's baffling to me because Zack Snyder knew what to do with the Flash in the film, and it worked beautifully with his character arc. But Joss Whedon decided to cut that, which to me it's just wrong, man. It just sucks because it was a beautiful scene and it was very well made. Another beautiful scene which I enjoyed, I really enjoyed everything with Darkseid. He's basically just a big cameo, and he's basically another version of Thanos, I suppose. But it's pretty much the same villain. It has someone go looking for objects, but also will come back in a further sequel, which is another thing too. This film was amazing, okay? Zack Snyder's Justice League is probably, for me, the second best DC Extended Universe film. For me, it's actually Man of Steel. I like that movie a little bit more, but Zack Snyder's Justice League was a beautifully well-made film, and I really enjoyed it. And it would be on my list of favorite superhero films for sure. But what disappoints me is that they did this movie, but are not going to do a sequel, which is annoying because there's so much potential there, and I think it would be an amazing film if they, decided to do it. I mean, Zack Snyder had a clear vision for the future of Justice League, so it baffles me that they decided to go in this direction and say, we're not doing any more after this. So that baffles me, and it does disappoint me a little bit. That being said, I there are a couple DC films which do excite me in the future, like Shazam 2 or The Flash, which hopefully will have Michael Keaton, but I can't say for sure from the rumours I've heard online. Other positive things I can say about Justice League, the characters are a lot more fleshed out, especially Cyborg. He got so much more backstory in the film. We see in the film his relationship with his father, his power set, why he's the way he is, and Joss Whedon decided to cut that out of the film as well and turn him into this mopey guy that nobody can really care about because all the good stuff was cut from the original film. But I totally understand the character in this new film, and it's actually a shame that they didn't do that in the theatrical cut. So I'm glad that we finally got to see what this character is really like, and be happy to see him again if he was in like a sequel or something. I thought Justice League had a brilliant score by Tom Holkenberg. It's very memorable, and it's really action-packed. But I'm not going to diss Danny Elfman because he's my favourite composer, and I was actually quite happy with what he did in that theatrical cut. However, I will admit that Danny Elfman's music from that previous film doesn't work in Snyder's universe of superhero films. So I thought Tom Holkenberg's score was epic, well done, very memorable, and really drives home the themes of the film and really what the heart of it could possibly be. So, beautiful score. The action, well, I will say there was a bit too much slow motion in the film. A couple of them could be cut, especially in the start with the Themyscira attack. I thought the way they did that action scene was very well done, but there were a couple moments in the film which I'd probably trim. And you know, it could have been a little bit faster. You know, another thing that I will say I am a little annoyed about, which I hope Zack Snyder what I think Zack Snyder should have done, is just include a quick scene of how Barry Allen got his powers. You know, with the lightning and. I'm not a big Flash fan, or I'm not really familiar with this story, nor have I watched the CW shows, so I wouldn't really know about the character. We've got enough to really understand the character, but with the 4-hour runtime, you could have fit a quick flashback scene of how he got his powers, like with Cyborg. The villain called Steppenwolf in the film, I thought he was upgraded like a lot from that original film. For starters, his design is way more cooler, way more menacing, and way more intriguing to me than whatever they did in that theatrical cut. I mean, the excuse I heard of why they designed him the way they did in that theatrical cut was that he looked scary. I don't really see the point, because that original design was so much cooler. But you know, it was all right in that first film. Well, actually now it's pretty bad. But the character work was definitely upgraded. Like, he was just this big villain out for world domination, or just wanting to destroy the world or something in that first movie. I don't care. He wasn't compelling at all. In this film, you know, in Zack Snyder's Justice League, he's this compelling character who's been cast from his home world and who wants to be in favour with his master, Darkseid. But, you know, he's just trying to go home, and, you know, that's something we can all relate to. He's not as fleshed out as, say, Thanos or Loki from those previous MCU films, but he's definitely better in this cut than he was in that theatrical cut. But I'd say for me, I like the design the most out of all the changes because it's so much cooler. Aquaman got a few good scenes in the film. I thought the scenes in it that weren't in Atlantis were alright. The scene with Willem Dafoe, that was interesting. It really gave a tease into what the Aquaman film would be like, so that was cool. I love the third act battle. It's very memorable, and it's very well shot. In that theatrical cut, they had like this big red sky. I don't know why they added that. It just didn't suit the feel of the third act in that film. It was supposed to be at night time. And each character actually does something, which brings me to my next point about the characters, which is Superman. I thought what they did with the character was fine. He didn't have any cringy lines like he did in the theatrical cut. Although I do think the black suit that he wore, I think that it got a little bit. I think it overstayed its welcome, if that makes any sense. He didn't. Well, he only wore it for the third act, so I suppose it makes sense. But that end shot in the film where he does the shirt rip, he's wearing the black suit, and I wonder why. Why do that? That's not Superman. He only wears the black suit when he's resurrected. So, I suppose it's just cooler for the character, and I'm not going to complain if Snyder wants to give him a black suit. But I mean, he didn't need to wear the black suit in that last shot. He could have worn the blue and red suit. That's my little rant about Superman done. But the character was very well done. He was way more hopeful in this movie than he was in BVS. I'm not going to make any excuses about Man of Steel because I love that film and I thought he was amazing in that one. Anyway, overall I love Zack Snyder's Justice League. Definitely one of my top 10 favourite superhero films. It should definitely be on everyone's top 10 DC films list because I'd say it's worth it. It's very well done. It's got good character development, good score by Tom Holkenberg, beautiful visuals. It's very well choreographed. Also, amazing fight scenes, which is in choreography. And overall, I thought the film was very well done and very well amazing. So, if I were to give the film a score, I would probably give it an 8.5 out of 10 because the slow-mo was a bit much. There were a few unnecessary shots and scenes in the film which were not good, like the singing at the start of the film. But and I thought the introduction of Flash was a bit much. It looked good, but it has no purpose in the story other than introducing the character and his power. So, I mean, it was alright. But overall, I would recommend the film for sure, and I would say watch it, definitely. I do hope that Warner Bros. Or Warner Media or whatever does end up making a sequel. Yeah, I wouldn't give my hopes up too much because I'm bound to be disappointed. So I'd say just accept the film for what it is. I'm not going to talk about the nightmare sequence. Don't care. To me, it's just not necessary. But I do like a good nightmare sequence in the film. So that is very nice. So overall, I'd say watch the film, and it's enjoyable. Good movie. I love it. So until next time, I'll talk to you later.